right, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, each and every one of you. A pleasant good morning, and welcome to this segment of Good Morning Grenada. Yeah, the wake up call. Mary Ebanks beats them to it again. Good morning, Mary. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Good. It's Friday. Some folks say thank God it's Friday. Well, I thank him every single day. Yeah, it has become habitual. Veronica Sandy, good morning. Good morning, GBN Grenada, everyone. Good morning. A blessed day to you, Gordon, Innocent, Joseph, Lydia Cameron. Good morning, Innocent, and happy Friday. Thanks and same to you. Cynthia Bear says good morning. Nice. Well, it's still trying times. It's still tough. We're coping, but it's tough. Yeah, and again, I want to say thank you for all those who keep sending in their condolences. Yeah, we're holding strong. But nonetheless, it's time for us to get into the meat of the matter for the day, and it's time for the word of the day. And the word of the day today is the word Beltane. It is a noun. Beltane. It is spelled Beltane. Beltane. And what Beltane means? Beltane refers to the Celtic May Day festival. All right? Beltane refers to the Celtic May Day festival. Here's how we can use this word. She looks forward to the festivities and traditions of her own, or of her town rather. She looks forward to the festivities and traditions her town has kept alive to celebrate Beltane each year. Okay, nice. Okay, we can localize it and say, she looks forward to the cooking and the sharing of food, at her village in Carrier as they keep the Bashilaka, the Beltane, each year. Yeah, I say that to say that don't forget to go on up to Carrier today to celebrate the Bashilaka. It's Carrier's version of the Saraka. All right, going out, and Caitlin and the rest of the people up in Carrier, they're going to take really good care of you. Going out, those of you who don't know Grenada, live from Point Salins and drive up. You're heading north, you're heading to Sates. Don't pass on the western side, pass on the east coast. And if you don't know, ask your way up. After you leave Grenville, ask your way up. You reach Paradise Junction, ask, and they will tell you, okay, you go further up. You reach Moya Junction, and they'll tell you, okay, take the left up that bridge. All right? And, head to Carrier today. Culture Man and all the guys are going to be there celebrating the Bashilaka with you, all right? So don't forget that at all. Now let's look at the thought of the day. When you face adversity, you need to remind yourself that whatever is trying to defeat you could very well be that what God will use to promote you. Oh my goodness, this is good. This is awesome. I like this one. When you face adversity, you need to remind yourself that whatever is trying to defeat you could very well be what God will use to promote you. Yes, you've got to conquer your fears, face your fears and conquer them. All right? You can always look back and say, I conquered this. All right? Yes, that's the idea. So don't, when, trials and troubles and pressures of life come up, don't sulk. Don't adopt the defeatist attitude, Stand up and face it like a man, like a real Zakar man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you will conquer it. You will conquer it. And if you don't, then it's God's plan. You understand? But don't sulk. Face it like a man. Stand up and take it like a man. All right, so that's the thought of the day. And now let's see what's buzzing this morning. Well, we know that close to 2,000 students are registered to sit the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment Exams, the CPEA, and which it began yesterday, and it continues today. over 2,000, close to 2,000. What is interesting in this is one of the first times in recent times that I'm seeing the males dominating. Last year we had a little more male than female sit in the exam. This year is the same thing. All right, well, guys, time to stand up. Stand up. Yeah, stand up. The ladies are dominating, and that's not how God planned it. Men were called to lead, but the ladies have to lead because the men start taking the back seat and putting the ladies in front. You understand what I'm saying? So, guys, let's start it from there, from the primary school, and take back what God has planned for us. Nice. Still buzzing this morning, the Lindy Skinner Moraine murder case moved a step closer to conclusion on Thursday when the man accused of killing her pleaded guilty to non-capital murder. All right, Calvin Frank is the name of the guy. He pleaded guilty yesterday. Also, in the case with Ryan Griffith, a 12-member jury was empaneled on Thursday as a murder trial got underway at the St. George's High Court 4 years after the suspicious death of 42-year-old Spencer Gordon Francis in June of 2019. That's also buzzing this morning. Also buzzing this morning, members of the opposite side of the government are airing their concerns and offering solutions for the present dilemma faced by vegetable vendors at the National Stadium, who are yet to be informed on where they can do business. All right? So check that out. All right, that's also buzzing. Grenada resumes mango shipment. Now, after some 20 years of being unable to do so, the first commercial shipment of fresh mangoes left Grenada on Wednesday, with the produce destined to hit markets in the United States. That's good news for us. Really, really good news. Also buzzing this morning, the Labor Minister, Honorable Senator Claudette Joseph, promises regularization and pension reform for public officers. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. And in another vein, a Minister for Labor, she says her ministry is in the advanced stages of reviewing the minimum wage in Grenada and promises her government's commitment to ensuring equal pay for equal work. A lot of people ain't gonna get paid because there are folks that just make sure they reach in the office and that's it. They sit on their phones, they form clusters and gossip for the day, and when a supervisor is coming, pretend to be busy. And at the end of the fortnight, now it's fortnight, bi-monthly, every 2 weeks, they rush to the ATM. So I guess there will be continuous assessment and evaluation and job appraisals and so forth. So it will affect folks. Those of us who like to work, we like what we do, we have a problem. But those of you rather, who just go because you know you have to go to work. If you don't show up, you won't get paid. So you're going to work, reach in the workplace, and you just fool around. You have problems, all right? So let's wrap up this segment. Before we do that, let me quickly see what's happening on our Facebook page. All right. Lydia Cameron, right? We went there already. Catherine Phillips says, good morning, Grenada, my beautiful island. Good morning, Innocent. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks and same to you. Frances Buckmeyer, blessed morning, everyone. Edmund Gordon, good morning, viewers. Joseph Ross, good morning, Grenada. Well, good morning to each and every one of you. Let me see what's happening on our WhatsApp platform. And, we need to make that connection. As I open it, while it's buffering, I'm seeing somebody calling my name already. All right, good morning, Gordon. Today is, come on, open up. All right. Good morning, Gordon. Today is International Nurses Day and also the birthday of one of my nursing colleagues. Please greet all the nurses in the world, especially the Grenadian nurses. Special thanks to all the tutors and colleagues in the 1985 nursing class. Well, nurses, good morning. I can't tell you take the day off because you have patients to deal with, but enjoy your day. Enjoy your work today. All right. While at this, I want to say a very special good morning to you, Nurse Maxween, and the rest of your team there. Good morning to each and every one of you. All right. Good morning, Innocent, Munich, all the way 473 to the world. All right, good morning, Munich, Auntie Joan and them. Good morning to you all. All right, okay. Mr. Bill Gates, I go through food and drink poisoning wherever I go to eat. Pastors Francis Kojo Asar and George Akaba are behind it. Okay. All right, that's a touching little one there. I have to be careful with this one. Good, nice. So, folks, this is where we take that break from here. All right, Barbara M. Hitler. Good morning, Barbara. How are you doing? All is well? Anne Mary Thomas. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Blessed day and weekend to you and fans. Cheryl Cato says, pleasant good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We've got to take that break because we've got the AM edition of news, sports, and the weather here on Classic. Those of you on GBN television, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. We've got the conversation after 7, so please stick and stay with us. We're with you anywhere and everywhere. Call ASAP. All right, Mr. Urban Mason, give me a call ASAP. Bye, folks. See you on the flip side.
Girl, the children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated, and I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
No, girl, that was yesterday. I can't believe all they said that. She didn't.
Mom, can you help me, please? I'm having some trouble understanding.
No, you serious?
Mom, can you help me, please?
So you all sit down and say that? Okay then, bye. Here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's ensure that you're well prepared for this exam.
Parents, you have a crucial role to play in helping to prepare your children for the CPEA exams. Help them or seek additional help so that they can revise the concepts they learn at school and give them a better chance to be successful and move on to the next phase of their lives. A message from the National Parenting Program, Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Hello, I am Pettifer Lewis, the Executive Director of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, representing the private sector. From where I sit, I can see how volatile both the local, regional, and international economies can be as a result of financial shocks, pandemics, natural disasters, among others. Having the NIS Unemployment Benefit Program is certainly a step in the right direction. This will help to alleviate the burden that arises from unemployment. Remember that people who are employed not just support themselves, but support family members as well. The NIS Unemployment Benefit Program will play a very important role in assisting our citizens to mitigate hardships while keeping the local economy stimulated during future challenges like these. This is a very good program, very good initiative, and I support it.
Regionally, St. Lucia's unemployment rate falls to 16%. Internationally, Russia claims Ukraine tried to assassinate Vladimir Putin. Plus, in the sports news, Grenada's Anderson Peters makes his 2023 debut on Friday. Stay with us. Details right after this.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments. Soft Weave bathroom tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Good evening from the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I'm Kenroy Batiste. Close to 2,000 students are registered to sit Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment exams, which began Thursday morning and will end on Friday, May 5. More in this report from Rena Ped Thomas.
1,877 students from 70 schools are registered for the final component of the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment exam, which got underway today at 54 centers throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Of the 1,877 students, 1,030 are males and 847 females. Comparatively, in 2022, 1,840 students were registered, comprising 955 males and 849 females. Minister for Education David Andrew, in an interview this morning, said that teachers and staff at the ministry were up early to ensure everything is in place for the exam.
Preparing the scripts even in the wee hours of this morning. They had to be up because we take it for granted that the scripts, they have to be dropped off sometime this morning. And so my officers, compliments to them, the exams unit. They were up since morning getting the scripts to various locations across the island, west, all over, to ensure that the integrity of the exams are not compromised because they had to be dropped.
The CPEA exams is intended to test the literacy of students exiting the primary school system and consists of 4 multiple-choice papers in mathematics, language, art, science, and social studies. The exam is open to all students who are 11 years old on or before September 1st. Minister Andrew explains that students were previously graded in other assignments, and this will contribute to their results on the final exam.
In most cases, students who they must have had the opportunity to perform well. They had peer-graded assignments, they had projects, group work, all of those contributed and are contributing to the final grade. But this is just the terminal element that, you have to sit as a summative form of examination, but they had many formative elements of assessment all the way through, and we want to commend our teachers for the dedication. We know teachers take this seriously. Personally, many of them have given classes on their own time, freely, without charge, probably for 1 week during periods within the last holiday period.
Principal of the St. George's Anglican Senior School, Nigel De Gale, in speaking to our news team this morning, explains some of the challenges faced while preparing the students for the exam.
The process of continuous assessment is good because children can work and get the best mark to be recorded. And that is a long process, but sometimes the children are their own enemy. They refuse to do the the work. They refuse to do it over, etc. And the parents now must come on board, especially when we have projects to do, and they leave it up to the teachers. So the challenge with the parental assistance is big. Many of them are too busy even to make breakfast for the children, so they will buy a pen and cool in the morning. So we need all on board, because the ministry is doing its part, the teachers are doing their part, the parents and the students must do their part.
The assessment commences at 9 a.m. on both days, and all students are expected to finish the exam by 12:15 p.m. The team at GBN joins many others in extending best wishes to the students sitting this year's exam. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Meanwhile, GBN spoke with some of the students at the St. George's Methodist School after they completed their first day of CPA exams. They shared their experience, including challenges faced.
The maths was a little hard, but we got some questions we did before, and the social studies was a breeze. Like about half of the questions in the exam we got already. Basically knew it already. Percentage. And fractions. And the conversion ones was challenging, where you had to convert like different. You had to convert like one EC dollar to how much Barbadian dollars you'd make, and stuff like that.
In the social studies was easy. The maths was a bit challenging. My exam was good. It was so interesting. It was hard for me, but I had also put in an effort. So yes, I finished it, and I hope I pass.
My exam went great, but I didn't get time to finish the math, so I'm not sure if I pass or fail. But the social studies was pretty sure easy, because we teacher helped us do it, and mostly all questions that we did come. So yeah.
Mr. Thomas for helping us through the CPA, and especially the maths and the social studies. Everything they say came on the exam.
Yeah. So they really helped us through the exam, and we just want to got a big shout out to them and thank them for helping us through this journey, and
We wish the nation's students the very best. Other news, the Lindy Skinner Moraine murder case moved a step closer to conclusion on Thursday, when the man accused of killing her pleaded guilty to non-capital murder. Nisha Paul has been following this story.
Calvin Frank was 33 years old when he used a knife to inflict over 33 deadly stab wounds to the body of his former partner, Lindy Skinner Moraine, following a disagreement over money owed to him. Senior Crown Counsel Howard Pinnock is prosecuting the matter, which came up before High Court Judge Madam Justice Paula Guilford at the St. George's No. 1 High Court on Thursday.
It was quite an unfortunate incident. The parties used to be in a relationship, and he would have broken into the deceased owed him some money, and he would have broken into the residence, and he would have stabbed her a number of times, and she died.
Frank was initially slapped with capital murder, attempted non-capital murder, and housebreaking charges. However, the prosecutor accepted a plea of guilt for the offense of non-capital murder and did not offer any evidence on the other charges. The defendant is being represented in court by attorneys Anselm Clouden and Jerry Edwin.
Mr. Clouden is the lead counsel. I am merely supporting him and assisting him in this matter. Most of these cases, because of the evidence, because of the deal that is struck, we call it in other jurisdictions plea bargaining. You will find that cases do not proceed to trial. They do simply come before the judge, and the defendant, the accused, will often plead guilt to a lesser count. It saves judicial time. It saves the agony of the victims and even of the witnesses to rehash the matter.
The death of Lindy Skinner Moraine, a food vendor from Janangle, St. George, was the first homicide recorded in 2021.
Has pled guilty, as I said, which is in itself a recognition by Mr. Frank that he had had crossed the line. And to his credit, he is not going to put the state of Grenada through a long, agonizing trial. This matter is concluded, awaiting the reports of a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a social inquiry report, and then we will have the sentence by Justice Guilford on the 28th of July.
The offense of non-capital murder carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Now, police have arrested and charged 68-year-old Lucy King of Crowshoe St. Andrew for the offense of causing death by dangerous driving. The charge follows investigations into a vehicular accident that occurred along the Springs Public Road, St. George, on April 24, 2022, resulted in the death of Roger Mahon of Munlong, St. Andrew. Ms. King was granted bail in the sum of $50,000 with one surety. In addition, she is required to surrender all travel documents, and she's not permitted to leave the state of Grenada without the permission of the court. Ms. King will make her first appearance at the St. George's Magistrates Court on Tuesday, May 9 at 9 a.m. Well, a 12-member jury was empaneled on Thursday as a murder trial got underway at the St. George's High Court 4 years after the suspicious death of 42-year-old Spencer Gordon Francis in June 2019. It's Nisha Paul with the details.
Spencer Francis was found dead with a rope around his neck on the floor of his family's home in Corinth, St. David, on June 14, 2019, in what many initially suspected to be a suicide. However, days later, his neighbor Ryan Griffith, a well-known bus driver plying the St. George's Grenville route, was apprehended by police and slapped with a charge of non-capital murder. Griffith, who was 40 years old at the time of his arrest, sought counsel from attorney Jerry Edwin in the matter, which came up before High Court Judge Madame Justice Paula Guilford at the St. George's No. 1 High Court on Thursday.
We, of course, are eagerly awaiting the start of this trial so that a jury of Mr. Griffith's peers can determine his guilt or innocence. There are 12 witnesses which the Crown will present in this case, and we intend to call 3 witnesses of our own. Of course, Mr. Griffith has vigorously pled not guilty to this offense.
The autopsy report was inconclusive, leading to further police investigations, and Spencer's family offered a reward for information leading to an arrest. Attorney Edwin anticipates that the murder trial will last approximately 2 weeks to 15 days.
The prosecution's case is essentially a circumstantial evidence case. There were no eyewitnesses, there's no direct evidence, but the Crown will do what it does, which is to marshal its evidence, and we, of course, will be going in the opposite direction in this case.
The now 45-year-old murder-accused Ryan Griffith spent just under 2 years on remand at the Richmond Hill prison before being granted $75,000 bail by a High Court judge in 2021. For GBN News, I'm Nisha.
A mother is really amazing and incredible. Give her an amazing spa experience at Nirvana Health Spa with our exotic cherry rose relaxing packages. Choose from our exotic cherry rose feet care package, which includes jelly feet soak, relaxing pedicure, feet care facial, and a glass of rose wine for only $2.40. Or entice mom with our cherry rose body care package. This includes full body exfoliation, hot stone back massage, facial, and a glass of rose wine for only $4.40. Or why not surprise mom with both packages? She deserves it, right? Call us on 231-6642 or 418-7115. Visit nirvana.gd for more info. Gift certificates are also available. We are located in the Regency Commercial Suites, Grand Anse Main Road, in close proximity to the Food Fair Shopping Center. Nirvana Health Spa, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. These specials go up until June 4, 2023. Terms and conditions apply. Treat mom for this Mother's Day.
And
so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
We're back here at Television Center. Governor General Dame Cécile Grenada and Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell have arrived in London to attend the coronation of King Charles III. It is scheduled for Saturday, May 6 at Westminster Abbey. Here's what we can tell you. The delegation attending the ceremony will include Grenada's resident High Commissioner in the United Kingdom, Keisha Abergrand, Victoria Cross recipient, Sergeant Major Johnson Behari VC, COG, and athletes Afi Fletcher and Lyndon Victor. The Governor General and Prime Minister are also expected to attend a reception with King Charles III during the visit. Ahead of the coronation, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell held talks today with former Prime Minister of Britain, Tony Blair, to discuss the work of the Tony Blair Foundation and possible areas for collaboration with the government of Grenada. The delegation will return on Sunday, May 7. Senator Dr. Decima M. Williams, President of the Senate, has been appointed Deputy Governor General in the absence of the Governor General. Minister for Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, with responsibility for community development and housing, Philip Telesford, has been appointed Acting Prime Minister in the absence of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Mr. Mentioned the wing carry, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
All right, folks, good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. It's 9 minutes after 7 o'clock. And this, you know, that's the thing about the GBN network, right? The GBN, we're dynamic. We're very dynamic. And this morning I've got with me in the studio, he is Grenadian by birth, but he was telling me, that's the conversation we were having. He migrated in 1969. He said he got just a little piece of Expo. And he migrated to St. Thomas and also the U.S. and so forth. So he's a traveling man, but he's Grenadian. And what is most interesting is that I received a call from him a couple of weeks ago. He said, you know, he's Grenadian, but he's based in St. Thomas and Orlando. And but he says he listens and looks at the GBN continuously. And he just sought to, you know, to reach out to us and
sleep and wake with GBN.
So, folks, without much further ado, and say this is our number one fan, Mr. Joseph Francis.
Right.
Give us a background. Where are you really from in Grenada?
I'm from Sautez,
okay.
St. Patrick's. I'm the downtown. I'm in Sautez, and the back street by the old police station.
In the back there, yeah.
Yeah, I was born back there.
Okay. So that means you would have known Big T and these people and them.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm a Francis, a sort of an island-wide Francis.
That's true Grenadian Francis.
Right, because I'll tell you why. My grandfather from St. David's, his son, my grandfather was a police officer. Also, my father was a police officer. So, you know, in those days when they shift police from one parish to the other.
Don't say what you're going to say. Don't say that. Don't say that. My father was a police too. Don't say that. Don't say that. We know the culture of the policemen.
So they have picnic all over this place, you know what I'm saying?
I beg the man to say
it. So when you look in the phone book, you got a whole half of the phone books are Francis and they are related, I'm sure.
Right, good. Right. And so you were born in Sautez.
Right.
And that's where you lived up to the point when you migrated?
Right, when I migrated.
Okay. And first you went to St. Thomas, right?
Right.
What's St. Thomas like?
It's a small island. When I first went there, it was just a few people. They didn't have that much people thus far. It was an island owned by Denmark. The United States bought these islands from Denmark in 1917 because they didn't want the Germans to get it. That was during World War II. So they give Denmark $100 million in gold for 3 islands, 3 main islands, and they has about 50 smaller ones around it. But Denmark had owned the shipping area up to 1917. They just sold it back. The portion they owned, they just sold it back to the local government retirement people.
Okay.
So St. Thomas was where they had St. Thomas St. Croix. They used to grow sugar cane, and that's when Denmark used to ship that back to Europe. So they had guys from the whole of the Caribbean, Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, in the 50s and 40s, 50s, 60s, going to cut sugar cane. So they stayed
in St. Thomas.
In St. Thomas.
So in essence, there's a Grenadian population in St. Thomas. There are a few Grenadians in there.
They were, but they moved to the United States. There is only a small population of Grenadians.
And while you in St. Thomas, you all, correspond, and
yes,
you all have a little associations and
right. They have that. They still have a few Grenadians.
Okay,
but not as much as before. They used to have maybe over 100 plus Grenadians, but they all migrate to the United States.
Right, they went to greener pastures.
Right, and to tell you, one of the things we used to do in the early stage, those Grenadians who came up through St. Thomas, we used to send them to America without visa or any papers. We book them, send them to Puerto Rico midnight, ship them back to the States. They get their papers up, they marry people and do whatever they have to do.
I should have been up there around that time, boy.
So we was running a little pipeline in the 60s and 70s,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Now, in terms of development, how developed is St. Thomas?
Well, St. Thomas is a dry island. Tourism is the main stuff. On St. Croix, which is the bigger of the 3 main islands, it's more agriculture. They still plant a lot of stuff, but not enough to maintain the population. So everything has to be brought in with trailers from the United States. But people have their kitchen garden and blah, blah, and the other.
So when you say with trailers, it's...
Those trailers like tropical trailer.
Yeah? Okay. So but with ships?
Yeah.
Okay.
They has 2 shipping company, Tropical, and there is another one that came in after Tropical was the first one.
Right. So as it relates to the infrastructure, the buildings and the so forth, how
it's populated now because a lot of houses have went up. I mean, you can't get land that easy to buy. Everything is, I mean, it's populated. It has a population of about 70,000 people. St. Croix is the largest of the 3 islands. St. John is the smallest, which is about a few miles from St. Thomas. You take a ferry, it only takes you about 20 minutes by ferry to go over to St. John. St. Croix is 40 miles south of St. Thomas. You do have to fly over or go with a ferry or something like that.
Wow. So, would you say St. Thomas is home to you?
Yeah, that's my 3rd home. Okay. I'll tell you my first home. My first home is heaven. My second home is Grenada. My 3rd home is St. Thomas.
I like this guy. Your first home is heaven.
Heaven is my first home. Grenada is my 2nd home, which is my birth home.
Right.
And I love it to death.
Right. Okay. Now, tell me, while in St. Thomas or Orlando, wherever, because you also travel to Orlando.
Yeah, my son is in Orlando.
Okay.
And we bought a house for him there. He was born in St. Thomas, and he's my only son.
Wow. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. He has a good dad.
Right.
Yes.
And he works for Apple. He's a technician, a tech guy.
I hope he's looking this morning.
He might. Let me see. Today is what, Friday? He might be working. If he's working early from 7 to 4. Or if most times he's off on Fridays.
Okay.
He looked at not this particular station. He's into high tech.
Okay.
Because he watches he's fascinated with Tesla car, right?
Oh, okay.
And this is going to be his next car. you know, and it's going to be my next car too, because I actually invested over 20,000 in Tesla stocks, because he said he said a few years ago, he said, Dad, give me $3,000, I'll make you some money. And I had the money. I teach him the stock market because I used to work on Wall Street for 5 years in New York. So I teach him the market. He makes money in it, he's invested it. So if I had given that $3,000, I would have stand to make $60,000 with $3,000 at about maybe within 5 years. So I made that mistake. Last year I decided I would correct the mistake, and I start investing in Tesla stock. Tesla is a EV manufacturer of electric vehicle cars,
yes.
and they're selling like hotcake.
Yeah, they're down here now too.
Yeah, I've seen that Tesla is coming from Grenada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Grenada on top of things.
Oh yeah. So my next car is going to be a Tesla, a white Tesla. Bam, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I'm in Orlando and I looked on the highway, man, you seen Tesla, you seen the black, the red, the white, you know.
You're going to bring one back home, right?
Yeah.
Because I just have the impression that you'll go back to your third home eventually, but eventually you'll come back to your
I'm coming back later in the year. I want to come back for a little before Christmas, stay for Independence. February,
that's the plan.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
I mean, I love Grenada. I'm leaving next Tuesday with hot feelings. But
I could see it on your face already.
I mean, I have to go back to my third home.
Right.
Because I got my house there. I mean, not boasting. I got to put up another floor.
Story. Okay.
And it's going to worth $1 million. You know. Because investments, I love it.
And that's in St. Thomas?
In St. Thomas.
Good. Let me ask you this. While in St. Thomas, you claim that you're locked onto the GBN right through.
Right.
Are you satisfied with the level of coverage of Grenada you're getting from the GBN?
Yes, because I looked at the news, even the old news 2 and 3 years back, to see what's happening.
Okay.
I sleep and wake with GBN.
Man.
Sometimes in St. Thomas, I come from work and then I put on GBN to get the news. I looked at the little news, I fall asleep. When I looked at the time, 12:30, 1:30, I go back over and get the beginning of the news. You know what I'm saying? I like to know what's happening in Grenada. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And well, you said you've been here, you know, continuously, but are you satisfied with the kind of development that's taking place in Grenada now? Are you happy with what you're seeing in Grenada? Not political, right? We're leaving the politics out.
Yeah.
But in terms of the infrastructure development, the human resource, the general development.
Yes, yeah, it is. It could have been better. You know, when I say that, I looked at the week before Christmas or Christmas week, and I look on the tarmacs, and I see 6 jets. You know, and I watch. I say, wow, people coming from Europe. I watch Antigua, St. Kitts, Guyana, Christmas week, and people was just shopping, you know, and stuff like that. The people in the diaspora, they really pump money into all the Caribbean people. Is over $1 billion comes in, because I just came down, and the vendors on the side street, I spend my money with them. Even with the big ones, the big supermarket, I buy from them. But my stuff is giving the little people a piece of the pie. Because yesterday, there was a girl I gave a big order. It mounted up to 1,300 EC, which cost me $455 US. She made for me yesterday, which I'm shipping back the stuff to St. Thomas, and some to the United States, some to Washington, D.C., where I have a cousin that lives over there. One of my main stuff, I love the cocoa butter, because when my sister-in-law sent up cocoa butter for me and stuff like that, you see?
Yeah, keeps your skin nice and moist.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You're 20, how much you said?
I'm 76 years old, young man.
Your skin looks like 26.
Because I take care. Well, let me give you a stuff. Within the last 40 years, I don't eat meat. No dairy products and stuff like that.
What do you eat?
I make my own. I make my own stuff, from beans, legumes, and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay, so that's what's keeping you so young.
That's what keeping me so young.
Yeah.
The only problem I have is it's like a knee problem, but other than that, the doctor gave me a clean bill of health.
Wow.
No diabetes, no nothing,
No
and stuff like
hypertension, nothing.
Nah.
Okay, wow.
I think it may come from my blood type. My son is a O negative, I'm a O positive. And they refer to O positive, O negative as scavengers, meaning we could eat anything and nothing happened to us.
Right.
And maybe I kind of want to believe it.
I like this. There's someone that wants to talk to you. We're getting a call. Let's take this call and see. Good morning, caller.
Hey,
morning. Welcome.
Generally, a good friend of mine from St. Thomas and Peter Philip. He is a mechanic in a garage.
Well, Peter Philip and I goes to Anglican school. I think he's down here, if I'm not mistaken. I know Peter Philip maybe since in diaper.
Okay. You from St. Patrick?
I'm from Satyrs, right from the police station, the Anglican school. I was born just behind the Anglican school.
That is where you come from.
You might know me. If you know Peter, you might know me. Usually, they call me Joey in Grenada, but my name is Joseph Francis.
Joseph Francis. I went to Anglican school myself.
I used to be with the Nelsons on Main Street.
On Main Street, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peter was on there, but he got back up already.
Okay. All right, thank you, caller. You see, just like that, you're
right.
You're trying to celebrate your GBN here already.
Right, people are listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When I go back up, I gotta go back.
You must look at this program.
I gotta go back to it and tell all my friends in St. Thomas, hey, I'm a celebrity in my homeland, man. I'm with Innocent. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm gonna do? I'm my TV producer guy. Can you come with your camera or your phone and take a snap of us here, man? We need this picture.
Right. Yeah? You know what I'm saying?
Let's take this other caller.
You know.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir. And how are you today?
I am alive and thankful. Welcome.
And morning to the gentleman.
Good morning.
Yeah, you mentioned you had experienced Expo 69.
Yeah, a little bit of it.
A little bit, but was it good? You like it? And what you inspired you much in that? What you had liked most about Expo?
Expo was great, definitely, because there is a lot of company and a lot of stuff, and apparently I would say it put Grenada on the map also, because I don't think no other country had something like that I know of.
Yeah, and we had a symbol of it. I was fighting to get that going, but some people were reluctant, and I spoke to a lady about it, and she wanted to do it. I wanted to, because I even talk about a medical student to do it, Grenadian medical student. That pillar, the two pillars entering for Expo, that was the main pillars for Expo 69. So I was suggesting to put a nutmeg on one side and cocoa on the other side and mark Expo 69 Grenada Expo 69.
I think you should do it.
No, but a lucky thing we didn't have time to spend the money on it. I can't throw down one. Something throw down one of them.
I could help you fund it.
Yeah, because that is a main symbol for Expo. Nobody know he had an Expo in Grenada, but all over where I travel and they had an Expo there, they have something there.
You should put a memorial stuff there.
Yeah,
I'm coming back down later down in the year, around Christmas, a little before Christmas, and I want to stay for the 50th anniversary. I'll get back to Innocent. I'll come with my wallet. I'll fund it.
Take my number, 403-5362. Take my number.
Say that again.
403-5362.
You what? Repeat.
403.
403. Wow.
53.
62.
62.
All right, we got that caller.
Right, so that would be good, because I said all the medical students from Grenada should try to do something with that and so on, but everybody turned their back on it. So, but apparently when we were looking to do something, this car came and threw it down, and it is so sad.
Let me give you a quick stuff. I had a friend I used to work with driving limousine, I came from Orlando at the end of January. I talked to him. I told him if he's short of drivers, he could call me. I called him one day to ask him a question. He said, Francis, I'm short. You go up in the yard, take up one of the limo, and go on. Well, I know the job. And I was driving limo until I decided to come down to Grenada. And I made good money out of it. During Holy Thursday and Good Friday, I started work from 5 in the morning to 5 in the evening. I was able to make $150 in tips with the tourists and talk to them. And whilst talking to tourists, I'm selling Grenada. I'm telling them that's the best island in the Caribbean. Go up on YouTube, punch in Spice Isle or whatever, Grenada, and look at it and make sure you come down. I met somebody in Miami International Airport. I thought they was Grenadian. They like it so much that they're doing their 3rd trip in Grenada. Keep Grenada going.
Yeah, and you know, on the world map in Grenada, you cannot see it because it's smaller than a grain of sand. If you look on the big map in some of these tourism places.
If you look on the big map, you wouldn't see St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Island. It's like a grain of sand that cut in two.
Yeah, Grenada is the same. Grenada is the same because I would travel to some place and there was people looking for this to go to the Caribbean, and all they were saying is everything is Jamaica, and then I tried to show them where get Grenada, but I couldn't get it because it's so small they don't have it.
Right, but you see, it's you could expose it on YouTube, you know, and they do a lot of. I've seen a lot of commercial of Grenada, which they advertise as tourism, you know, the Isles of Spice and stuff like that. So Grenada is getting on the map, despite it's small. People know what it is, and Grenadians are aware they sell Grenada too. But I sell Grenada all the time, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling them that's the best island in the Caribbean. Unspoiled, beautiful. Tell them about the waterfalls, a lake on the mountain. I mean, it's unique. And one of the 10 best beaches in the world, Grand Dance Beach.
Yeah, I think our athletes are putting Grenada on the map a lot. But what I liked about Expo was the dancing of the Trinidad horse and the layout of the Nutmeg Theater at Discovery Bay. I know if you could remember that place.
All right, Carla, we have to cut it because we out of time. But you see, I'm just taking a peek at the Facebook page there. Mildred Smith says, St. Thomas, yes, dry. I was there. This one is based in New York, Julian Alexander. She says, I love listening to this gentleman. He makes my day. Have a great weekend, sir.
Thank you.
All right. And Lydia Cameron, she's out there in diaspora as well. The best island in the world.
Best island in the world.
Yeah.
Spice Isle.
Yeah, definitely so. All right, well, watch now. And the gentleman came, and when you see me walking through town today, all right, this is what he brought for me.
Yeah, I looked at GBN. I mean, I sleep and wake with GBN, man.
Good.
That was it.
Well, as they say, all good things must
come to an end.
Yeah. So
because I got to go in the post office and post some 2 boxes with spice back to St. Thomas, and it's going, most of it sometime going back to the United States.
Okay. Well, folks, we take a commercial break. This is where we end the segment with my good friend, Mr. Joseph Francis. And Mr. Joseph, thanks for dropping by in GBN.
Yeah, man.
All right. Folks, we take a break. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Citizens Weather Guard Pro. For every project, there's only one pro.
Girl, the children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated, and I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
At the NIS, our team proudly works to support the evolving needs of Grenadians. We have made some changes to our operations and want to keep you informed. Firstly, we are happy to introduce the new unemployment benefit. This benefit will provide an insured person with 50% of his or her former income in the case of sudden unemployment. To support this benefit and other benefits we offer, it was necessary to increase the contribution rate. The contribution rate will increase gradually each year until it reaches 16% in 2031. As always, the contribution will be split between you and your employer. The pensionable age will also increase from 60 to 65 years. This increase will also be gradually reaching age 65 in 2029. Pensioners will continue to be eligible for a pension from age 60, but will receive a reduced payment. The NIS recognizes that the prices of basic customer goods are increasing globally. Therefore, we are happy to also increase the weekly minimum pension payment by 25%. Finally, we have adjusted our survivors' benefit payment to a percentage of the age pension minimum. Widows, widowers, and dependent parents will receive 100% or $58 weekly, while children will receive 50% or $29 weekly of the deceased's pension. We are here to make the transition to these new changes as clear and simple as possible. If you have any questions on how these changes impact you and your family, please contact our new informational hotline at 440-6647 or visit www.nisgrenada.org. Thank you for allowing us to be your social security provider.
Treat Mom this Mother's Day to a special concert as the Royal Grenada Police Force Band present Mother's Night Out. Mother's Night Out celebrity concert at the Grenada Trade Center, featuring live from St. Vincent, Alston Beckett Cyrus.
You ain't nothing but a teaser.
Alston Beckett Cyrus. Beckett and Judy Boucher. Judy Boucher live, also featuring Dash and Friends. Raymond Matthew the Beast, Randy Isaac, Tamara Songbird, Samantha Dixon, Gregory McLean, Joel Hafford, and Paul Alexander. Hosted by Fatman George. Admission $75. It's Mother's Night Out, the celebrity concert. Showtime 6 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Treat Mom this Mother's Day. Stay tuned for more details. Treat Mom this Mother's Day.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, and that's the way we roll. That's how we do it, you know. That's what the network is all about. All right, quickly on the Facebook page, Yulin Alexander, that's a very nice interview, Gordon. Thanks, and interesting conversation with your guest, Innocent, a true champion for Grenada. That's the way we do it. That's the way we roll. And what is most important is that this wasn't planned, okay? This wasn't planned. We've been talking for a while, letting me know that he's been listening to GBN, and this morning he just dropped by to say hi. And I thought maybe I'll show him around, but at this time it's only two of us in the studio, really. A breach in security protocol, but nonetheless. And I just thought, why not bring him on the set? I don't think I'll be fired for that. And turned out well. Okay, so now let's get into the conversation. Once again, thanks to Mr. Joseph Francis for dropping by. Let's take the first caller. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Joseph. Greetings. How are you?
I am a live and thankful citizen.
Happy to hear that. Listen, Mr. Joseph, I first want to establish the following. I gathered over a couple days ago that on one more occasion, 40 times for the last 40 years, we had an address by the so-called Governor General, patron of the Grenada National Council for the Disabled, and the minister, who also put out a written statement formally opening what they call the month of awareness of disabilities in Grenada. Very interesting. Every year the same thing happens, Mr. Joseph. But I'm extremely concerned that I have not been seeing any enhancement in the quality of life, nor the plight, nor status of the population of people with disabilities in this country. And for the last 10 years, worse yet.
Right.
According to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities established for immediate implementation in 2008, Mr. Joseph, we are supposed to repeat, not me that building that's saying this, immediate implementation by the UN Convention. In 2008, up to now, the government of Grenada, the colonial government headed by the Governor General, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer of a King High and Mighty, refused to obey international law and continue to abuse the people with disabilities in this country, which I must say, number 26,000 plus in the 2011 census. And I'm concerned to that end, because I can go on talking. I would like to ask you, Mr. Joseph, and your entity, to invite the patron of that society, the so-called Governor General, the minister responsible for social development, the owner of the company, non-profit private company called the Grenada National Council for the Disabled, and all the lawyers, to bring them on the radio and television, because the people of this country need to know what they're doing, what they have done for Grenada, and what they propose to do into the future. We're concerned to know about their position on the United Nations Convention. I urge you, Mr. Joseph, to bring these people, because I have 4 questions on them. And I want the Grenadian people to hear from their mouths.
Okay.
Not any speculation. What they've been doing and what they propose to do for the people. The patron, the minister responsible, the owner of the company, and the lawyers. Because we need to get some answers. And a call upon the government to make moves toward domesticating the laws of this country, because you're treating the people with disabilities in this country like shit. And then you're getting on the radio making a whole set of noise every year and doing nothing. This type of abuse must end. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
You too, Citizen Rolo. Thank you. Have a great day yourself. All right. And all attempts will be made to see how we can circumvent and, get the information out as best as possible. As we say, we're with you anywhere and everywhere. Now, as I reported in the sports news, today we have at the Spice ILT 10 tournament, the first game at 12 will feature Cinnamon Pacers doing battle with Saffron what again, boy? I can't remember the name. But nonetheless, the second game features Nutmeg Warriors versus Clove Challengers. Saffron Strikers. All right. So it's Cinnamon, game 1, Cinnamon Pacers versus Saffron Strikers. And game 2, which starts at 2:30, Nutmeg Warriors do battle with Clove Challengers. All right. And so going out and, you have the time, going out to the stadium and support the cricketers. Alison Cox Osborne says, please, GBN, do not allow Rolo to disrespect the heads of state. Do something about it. Alrighty, okay. Let's go to the telephone line and say, good morning, caller.
Morning.
Welcome to the program.
The gentleman is saying he have tomatoes Wednesday. Can you get the number from me, please?
Who is this?
The gentleman who they are announcing about he has tomatoes for sale on Wednesday.
Okay.
Ask him for a number from me, please.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm certain that he's listening and he will furnish you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Good. All right. May says, good morning. In reference to the vendors in the stadium, I think they should remain there for the time being because there is adequate parking for customers. The vendors on the sidewalk should be dealt with at first because they hinder traffic and pedestrians. Thank you, May. All right. Good morning, caller. Hi, good morning.
Innocent.
Hi, morning.
Well, I have to take with the vending business because I cannot understand if, according to what I'm hearing, they give them 2 days to move. That is unconscionable. This is heartless. Because remember, these people have been vending there for some time. And if, as it is said, that they have to put them in the market, the vendors will not be, all the vendors will not be able to hold in the market. And so what the government should have done, they didn't handle the thing properly. They have to be blamed, because I don't know why people blame the public servants and say they do things on their own. The government is the policy holders, policy makers. They give the directives, and they will, and the permanent secretaries also have to follow. What the government will have to do, should have done before, long before, consult them so that they'll be able to find a location for them to be relocated or find alternative accommodation. Because the fact is that the market can't hold. So telling them to go in the market, I find that stupidity. That is foolishness.
Okay.
And then you have to take into consideration too, the market, the board is not available. So where would the farmers sell their produce? Because a lot of them now sell with the vehicles. So where you want them to put their vehicle? Park it for the police, charge them to say it's legal vending. So the government has to take blame and responsibility for this mess and scenario that's going on with the vendors. And what is even worse, if I hear correctly, there was a pre-arranged meeting with the vendors when they voiced their opinion.
Okay.
And the ministers did not turn up. Now I find that's disrespectful to the vendors, and they have to sold to them. They have to do. I can't uphold this kind of thing. The government behavior. You know, I treat the people better than that. Don't look at what happened with the $150. After they take it out, the people go to collect the money. And then afterwards now, the people find out that they don't have the 150. The government now had to announce it. They're doing things before behind. That's messing up things. Okay. So I want them to learn from the two previous best that they do and treat people better than that. Because right now people are saying they don't like poor people. No, these people are hard working. If you see the ladies, my heart bleeding. All these people have been over for 20 years. Where you want them to go?
Okay, caller. All right. Thank you. We got the gist. All right. And that is a matter that I know is being looked at carefully. A quick look at our WhatsApp page. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. I would like to say heartfelt thank you to Mr. Chem Charles for carrying our lovely and beautiful flag tomorrow at the King's coronation in England. Kudos to you, Mr. Charles. Munich to the world. 473 to the world. All right. Okay, congratulations on that. It's 15 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That is our time. Let's head back to the telephone line and say good morning, caller.
Morning, Innocent, and morning to your viewers and your listeners.
Welcome to the program.
May I ask on behalf of some people who have asked me, how did the race with Kirani went in Botswana?
Yeah, he placed second. He placed second.
He came second.
Yes.
Some people were asking me.
Yeah, I announced it on Monday in the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that I'll tell them then. But in terms of how we do things in Grenada, I think we need to. And sometimes I wonder if we will ever get our head around things. Because when it comes to the ordinary, to people, especially locals, we treat them with scant courtesy. Look at the houses we have built for them over the last 20 years or so. Whether it's in Lakaloma, the Chinese homes and so on. We build things like if people are animals. In terms of the tourist booths and things that we have built in the past, no space for people to maneuver, little hut, a little, structure. When you go to the market again, and I'm concerned about the market situation because once we put people back in the market fully, there hardly any space. And that could be the source of conflict. We also have the issue of contending with the increased heat, the sun, with climate change and so on. We don't really think ahead. We just think right now. And then we do things and try to patch up. The same thing with the traffic light. Years ago, I heard a minister say, well, we bought the old traffic lights because we got a loan and we had to buy. So we had to buy new ones now because the first set didn't work. This is the kind of attitude we have as a people. And we don't sit down and think ahead and plan and to create scenarios, what will, a bleak plan and, alternatives and so on.
Okay.
So I would think that going forward, we need to do more systematic planning and also involve people in the process, in the planning process. For that, you need a certain mindset, not a project-oriented mindset or a money-oriented mindset. We need people to understand the human dynamics and so on. Also, one of the things we don't do as a people, we don't listen. We don't listen.
Okay.
So we don't hear. We don't catch what people really need or what they want. I don't mean from a eater food point of view. And somebody made a point, I said, I heard a guy said yesterday, and I really encouraged him. I really feel good. But he said, I know, the former teacher, Mr. Sandy Ford, I think I could call his name, about some of the brilliant ideas that come through these programs being gathered and sifted and attempted to be processed and to be implemented. A lot of good ideas come through these programs, but it just go up in the air.
Okay.
Unfortunately, thanks.
Thank you, caller. All right, it's 11 minutes on to 8 o'clock. And before we take that commercial break, let's take a quick look at what's happening on our Facebook page. All right, Hannah Penny says, the stadium is not for marketing. It was temporary. Why people think temporarily things are permanent? Shake my head. Me says, if Mr. Rulo continues the way he is going, he will have a heart attack. He is aggravating himself to the extreme. Now, Ernesto Jose says, I support Mr. Rulo with the Disabilities Act and the way they've been treated, even with the people selling on the sidewalk. Give them a hard time. I would like to see some attention be given to the people with disabilities, and they should be treated as any other Grenadian. All right. Okay, Mildred Smith said they build with Chinese in their mind. I guess she's referring to the housing project. Okay, you do the same. All right, Ernesto. Hope all is well. All right, Yulin says, my audio is very low this morning. Not good reception at all. I don't know if we have connectivity issues. But nonetheless, folks, we take our final commercial break in the segment. When we come back with a wrap. Don't you go anywhere.
Mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, We have the low folder.
You push your push up. It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
All right, welcome back to the final moments of the conversation this morning. And to answer a quick question that was posed as it relates to the cricket at the National Stadium, it's absolutely free, all right? And don't forget, you can join me and myself and Mr. Dwayne Gill tomorrow morning. Should the good Lord spare our lives, we'll be having a conversation on cricket in general and also do a feature on the Spice ILT tournament. All right, that comes up at 9 o'clock on the West Indian Marketplace tomorrow. Look out for that program, okay? Ian Reggae Master Jones says, we have some major activities coming up at the stadium. The place needs to be cleaned up. Look at the bigger picture. All right, yeah, that's one of the comments coming out on our Facebook page. Okay, so the contributor on our WhatsApp platform that asked, do I know the price for the cricket match? It's absolutely free. All right. Good morning, Innocent. This one is just for you. One of these days, I'll send you something that explains why I continue to look the same as 30 years ago. And regarding planning, for most politicians, that takes too long. By the time they are finished planning, it's election again. Yeah, so they have to plan in advance, and they have to come with governing in their head and not ruling. All right, you know. Look at the governing aspect and not just power. Okay. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you. Good morning, Innocent. Just you have a great day today.
Just
I
that?
I want to ask a quick question. It just dawned on me last night when I heard that saying Kitts and Nevis is considering whether to have the Governor General remain as the head of state. And the question that came to my mind is, why should a white man be head of state in a black man's country? I mean, I'm trying to talk for Grenadians. I mean, if England wants to have a monarchy, that's okay. like Spain and Morocco and others. But why should a white man, particularly from a country that has raped our small island states for years, has not given anything substantial to the sustainability, the development, of our country for centuries? Why should we continue to have a white man being the head of state of our black man's country? I want us as Grenadians to think about that and what are the benefits to be derived from such.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much, caller. It's 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock. At the top 8, we join the BBC. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
I am alive and very thankful. How about you?
Black racism is equal to white racism, eh?
Say that again.
To stop this kind of thing. Right?
Could you say that again? Repeat yourself.
Black racism is equal to white racism.
Yeah. I was hoping someone would have raised that point.
The Almighty make us as human beings, not as color. And this color thing, we need to stop that in this world. But relative to this vendors problem that we end up with in Grenada, all of a sudden. I say all of a sudden because you need to consider a previous caller mentioned it, and I was going to highlight that aspect of it. Part of the stadium station are more actual farmers,
Right.
And not more like you have a lot in the market where they can go buy 20 pounds of carrots, 20 pounds of cabbage, to burger, to fig. The farmers in the stadium, these are the people you would find with 20 bunches of bananas, 20 bunches of burger. You know that type of thing?
Right.
200 pounds of cabbage, 200 pounds of carrots, and et cetera, right? So that to fit into this market we have there is out of the question. That's the point people need to get. It is absolutely out of the question in a given situation. I know the market, and I used to be a market vendor at one time. I grew up with my mother being in the market there.
Right.
And I know the type of thing that happens in the market. I know the situation in general, and I empathize with these people.
So, caller, let me ask you a question. Looking at the inadequacy of the space, what proposal can you make? What can be done? Because we need our vendors. But we also need to adhere to rules and, separation of... What do we do?
The government is responsible for space in this country. The government controls space. This is why we have the police and whatever, and the laws that are there to govern the situation. Somebody just mentioned that in the stadium there's some activities, whatever activities to come. You could deal with that, because this is a weekend something, not for a whole day, whole night.
So you're subscribing that the vendors should remain at the stadium car park?
This is an isolated area in the car park.
Okay.
And you're talking about a weekend something.
Right.
And you can control that area a lot easier than you could have control in the heart of town.
Okay. Caller, we have to cut. Caller, we have to cut. We need to join the BBC, but thanks for your contribution, all right? Have a great weekend, okay?
You too.
All right, God bless. Bye-bye. Before I run off, Cynthia Bay says, I think all vendors are and were aware that the stadium was a temporary move. The concern is that the market cannot accommodate all at this time. When or what and where are they going to go now? Diane Thomas, black racism is equal to white racism. Innocent, shame on you for agreeing to that. I don't support any form of racism. Well, racism is racism. When white people take advantage on black people, is racism. When black people take advantage on white people, is racism too. You understand? Any case, folks, this is where we have to wrap it up for the day and for the week as it relates to the conversation. Those of you who called and participated in one way or the other, thank you very much. And we look forward to another conversation come Monday, if the good Lord spare our lives. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got the West Indian Marketplace that starts from 6 and runs up to 10. Join me, if the good Lord spare, and we'll have a wonderful time as we always do. And Folks on Facebook, those of you in the diaspora, have yourselves a great weekend, and you feel free to link up tomorrow as well. We'll be accommodating on Facebook as well. So have yourself a very great day and a good weekend if you've got to leave us now. Bye for now. We've got to join the BBC.